Not a very good afternoon's 90 minutes to play. In fact, I would say since I've been here, underneath you, let's say, that's probably the worst performance we've put in.
What wasn't good enough. No excuses. Darlington with a better side. Little bit of a hangover from a bit reminiscent of the last stage of the Buxton game. No excuses.
For the first 15 minutes or so, though, after going 1-0 ahead, I thought that we were actually in control of the game and playing some fluid football. But after the free kick from Lambert, everything sort of went to be a shambles, really. Not a shot on target. And it really looked like a very different Kettering Town team than the one that we're used to seeing. Too many individuals, probably.
Yeah, I think you've summed it up there, Paul. Individualism. You've just said in the dressing room what made us a good team at the beginning of the season was a work ethic amongst the boys. Everybody did their job, what they were told to do, really, really effectively. Sometimes when you're on a bit of a path and you're doing well, and you can start reading about all the hype, and sometimes you forget just what got you there in the first place. That's where we are at the minute. Individualism doesn't wash with me. Back down to earth for everybody. If I'm honest, Paul, I say it caught us out in the latter stages of both Boston games. There seemed to be a little bit of a Buxton game. Sorry, there seemed to be a little bit of arrogance that we can just float through certain periods of the game, and it's not good enough. It's not good enough at all. So look, it's up to me. It's up to me to get the formula right. Good thing is we've got a game on Tuesday night.
Are you going to feel a good side against them now?
It's always going to play a good side anyway. Yeah. So look, some of the boys have had 2 weeks off. We need games. We need games. We need. We looked, one or two looked a little bit off the pace.
I think quite a few of them did, didn't they?
Well, to be fair, it's not about being off the pace. It's that we've stopped doing what we're good at, and it's as simple as that. And now I'm going to pick sides now that do what we're told to do, and you haven't got to question anyone's decision making, because what made us a good side. Still got really good players. Sometimes you get a little bit transfixed to what people are saying about you. All the good things that people have said about one or two, and you can get carried away. We are where we are, and to get us back to where we should be, I'm gonna have to do one or two things. So it's left a bit of food for thought, to be fair, today, because I thought we'd have left the scenario, probably second half at Buxton. I thought we'd have left that behind, but there's still a little bit of a grey in there about what's expected and carrying out the things that basically we've tried to get across to them.
Discipline-wise, also seems to be a bit array at the moment as well. A lot of bookings going in there for silly things that you don't need to see, and it's going to cost us in the long term. I think we did well to keep 11 players on the pitch at one point today, to be fair.
Yeah, look,
the referee...
sometimes, Paul, it's frustration.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's frustration. But how we get to that position, once again, we went into a 1-0 lead, and you want to push on from then. Just keep doing the things that you did then. This is what I'm talking about a state of mind and psychology, is that all we need to do is the basics very, very well, which we were doing in the early parts of the game. And for some reason, we think we need to reinvent ourselves, and we don't. The disappointing is that I listen to most managers and how people talk about us, especially at home, and I thought we disappointed today.
Lambert caused a lot of problems, didn't he, down that wing side?
Yeah, look, they've got good players. It's a big club, and they were a better side today from start. Well, not start to finish, but I think after that 15-minute, 20-minute period, our big problem, Paul, is that we psychologically switch off, and we did it in the 2 games at Buxton. Realistically, we should have been in the next round at Buxton, and if we can't play for 90 minutes with concentration levels, I've got to find out a method. Some way of how we're going to do it, because we're going to do it. So, the players have been told to go home. They come in, we're going to tweak a few things now, and we're going to look at things a little bit differently, and we'll get back to the standards that we set ourselves early in the season.
Harrison Neal, big miss.
We've got a few that are big misses. You know, Kennedy's just come back now. You know, we've played, you know, the early part of the season with big misses. That group today knew how to play, what we're good at, and how to impose ourselves on teams. And if you forget what makes you a good player and makes you a good team, it's a slippery slope. And I think that's where we are at the minute, Paul. So, you know, my job is to make sure that we get back to the standards, one way or the other, that we're used to. I'm not setting the bar too high for the players.
You think that's it? We started off at such a high pace, and we set such good standards. It's difficult to sort of stay with those standards at times.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is. You know, we're talking about players who get paid to play football. You know, in any job, in any walk of life, you go in and don't do your job properly, you're not there very often, you know. And football's no different. We come in, what made us a good side, and we are a good side, is everyone did their job to the best of their ability. And, you know, the thought process was we was a well-oiled machine that just knew how to win or to get a result. But sometimes when you're dealing with players want to, I think sometimes want to complicate the game and want to then do that little bit extra. Or you know, we've got into the final third probably more times today than in the 2 games at Buxton alone. How many shots have we had?
None.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, there's fundamentals that need adjusting, and I'll, you know, I've done it before, I'll do it again, and it'll happen in the future, one way or another. Then I've got to work really, really hard now at my job, and you know, there's going to be some disappointed people, but look, it's, you know, we can't hang around. You know, football don't wait for anybody. You know, we've got to move past this, and we've got to now, you know, affect the game with the games we've got. You know, that we've got in hand on clubs. It's not Paul, if we go about our business like we did today, then you know we'll disappoint people. We'll disappoint the opposition, because all we did was, I think, we took an easy route today. We took an easy route. I want players to be brave. I want them to be mentally resilient. I want them to understand that what we do, especially at home, is really, really effective and gets results, which then catapult people into a different bracket of people wanting to come down and all of a sudden watch us. The game's all about winning. The game is all about winning. And you know, that's left that sour taste in my mouth that I had from Buxton. Because in both games against Buxton, we were in charge of it. And it's just a state of mind and a lack of mentality. Not ability. We've got players with loads of ability. And I'm taking away the age group now, because players need to grow up. It's about the team. And individuals got to understand that it's not just about individuals. You've got to work really, really hard. I thought Darlington today, and I hate saying this, I thought they worked harder than us without the ball.
Wanted it more, didn't they, I think, than we did. But not long to think about it, really. You've got Diamonds on Tuesday, and then another now, I suppose, a crucial game against, as they all are, against Blythe on Saturday.
They're all tough. They're all tough. No easy games. I'm not bothered who we play. I want to see a response. We'll see it on Tuesday. We'll gauge it next week, and I'll see where we are. But if it needs rebooting in any way, and I'm sure it does, and if players don't want to conform to what it is, then we've got to look at other things, Paul. You know, to be fair, so you know, that's not probably the worst to talk to after we've just been beat.
That'd be fun.
It's probably an understatement. But look, I believe in telling the truth to people. I've told the truth to the players. I think they've let themselves down today. I think they've let the supporters down. I think they've let the club down. Excuses can come out left, right and centre. We've been off for 10 days. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter, though. We got into a commanding position. The thing that annoys me the most is, you know, when I listen to their managers, you know, talking about us, he was expecting X, Y and Z. Never happened. Never happened. Now that's, I think, because we're in a kind of a comfortable zone at the minute. I don't want players to be in a comfortable zone, so it's my job to drag them out. We've got good players like, say, Harrison coming back. You know, players that have been superb for us. Conor Kennedy's going to get stronger. And, you know, the players have got to understand that pitch is going to deteriorate now. The weather's going to deteriorate. You want players that are going to like, you know, put themselves in, as Darlington did today. I thought it was excellent. I know quite a few that I've had Pervs and Will, you know, I've managed them both before. I thought it was excellent. I thought they ran and worked their socks off. I'm not saying that we didn't, but what I'm saying is that, you know, sometimes in football, you've got to earn the right to play. I don't think we earned the right to play today. Never thought we imposed ourselves on them, apart from the first 15 minutes, but that's token gesture. Once we said, we cannot play for 15 and 20 minutes and expect to win a game, so it's going to be a tough one over the weekend. Tough one to swallow, because they were the better side. They deserved to win. I don't want to see it again, if I'm honest. To be honest, it's that's one too many for me.
I think the feeling there is mutual, Paul. We don't want to see that either. I think we'll take it on the back and just say another bad day at the office. And
I don't want to do that, Paul. I don't want to say another bad day at the office. I'm annoyed, and we need to get back to the standards, you know, that we set sort of prior to the two Buxton games. I'm not saying you don't become a bad side overnight. Sometimes players lose their way and get exposed to nice things that people are saying and writing, and the adulation. You know, this game can turn on a sixpence, and it's all about winning football matches. And some of the young players that we've got, that's part of their education. I don't think I'm going to make them better players, but in terms of the psychology of the game and the understanding, they have to understand that this game can turn on a sixpence. You stop working hard, you know, it's a slippery slope then. So we'll get back to the standards, one way or the other.
Okay, Paul, thanks for that. I know you don't like coming in after defeats.
Yeah, I'm probably the worst person to talk to.
But thanks for coming in, and best of luck next weekend.